Hey everyone, today I have a little bit of a different walkthrough for two programs under the same methodology, which would be Ambleside Online and Amabalis. But before I take you through these, I'm going to introduce you to the Charlotte Mason method, because without understanding the curriculum on these sites, you're really just getting bookless. So you have to to use these, you have to understand the methodology behind it. So, the teaching method of Christian British educator Miss Charlotte Mason makes a good fit in today's homeschool. In her writings, Miss Mason insists upon using living books as school books. These enliven the mind and secure interest. Classroom textbooks compiled by a committee tend to be crammed with dry facts and information. Living books, by contrast, are often written by one author who enthusiastically shares his favorite subject with us. With living books, children gain knowledge through their own effort. They dig out the facts and information clothed in literary language, expressing what they've learned by narrating it in their own words, composing orally or in writing, which usually depends on the age. Their thinking is personal, follows a train of thought, and isn't stunted by a page of multiple choice questions. Teachers needn't be trained in giving lectures. Children educate themselves by narrating from the well-chosen words of authors. Too much explaining by a teacher elicits boredom. True education is self-education. No bells announce the end of hour-long class periods. Children are free to move promptly into the next lesson. When drills and skills are kept short, children develop the power of attention. Dawdling is discouraged. Students are encouraged to give their best effort. Education is a discipline. This means establishing good, helpful habits built one action at a time, one day at a time. Education is an atmosphere. With living books, children are motivated by a love of knowledge rather than artificial stimulants such as prizes, stickers, candy, money, competition, and grades. They retain their inborn curiosity. Cramming for tests is avoided. Examinations require the child to narrate what was read during the semester. Inspiring the love of knowledge in children depends on the presentation of ideas. Ideas are what the mind feeds on. Miss Mason served children a wide curriculum of subjects. She says varied human reading, as well as the appreciation of the humanities, is not a luxury, a tidbit to be given to children now and then, but they're very bread of life. Education is a life. Miss Mason places an emphasis on being outdoors to observe nature. Students keep a nature notebook. They record their finds in drawings, adding poems and mottos. Art appreciation and music appreciation are subjects that contribute to a child's rich cultural heritage. After hours, homework is withheld. Children apply their minds at the time of morning lessons. Afternoons provide recreation. For children, this means running, climbing, yelling, all out of doors, handcrafts, chores, life skills, practicing an instrument, and play are their homework. And this was written by Karen Andriola, who writes a lot of stuff about Charlotte Mason and stuff like that. So, some main points to take out of it that kind of define the Charlotte Mason method is using living books and narration, not textbooks and workbooks. The books that are chosen are challenging, high-quality books. These kids are usually starting Shakespeare in about 4th grade, and instead of doing workbooks, you use narration, and it kind of helps them to build relationships between different subjects. They kind of make connections through the narrations as they get better at narrating. At first, narration is just telling back. Short lessons are used that work with the child's attention span, so that through the whole lesson, the child's full attention is on what's being read so that they can narrate it back. So if your child only has a 5-minute attention span, the lesson would be about 5 minutes, including the narration. because you want to develop the habit of paying full attention to the lesson, not kind of spacing out here and then coming back and kind of getting bits and pieces. And then with time, you can obviously grow their attention spans as they get older and stuff like that. You push the lessons a little bit longer. They never go super long, but as they get older, the lessons do get longer. And then since the lessons are short, you do lessons in a wide range of subjects, which is usually called like the Feast of Ideas. So you'll notice in the curriculum that I show you, there are lots of subjects to really give the kids different ideas to work with. And then copy work and dictation are used to develop grammar, handwriting, spelling, and then the afternoons are free for them to pursue worthy interests. If you're interested in this method, I recommend the Ambleside Online Frequently Asked Questions. This is a really, really, really long document, but it goes into a lot of depth, and if you read through it, you'll have a pretty good understanding of the method. Obviously, I'm not going to read all that with you guys. But I will highlight one particular question, which is, at what year level should I place my child? The years in Ambleside do not necessarily correspond with grades. And as it says here, the curriculum is very rigorous, so a year level of Ambleside Online will be advanced compared to the same grade in most public schools. Some gifted 6th graders doing Ambleside Online's year 4 find it plenty challenging. So it's normal for parents to place children coming from public school in an Ambleside Online year that's a notch or two below his actual grade level. And it works out fine, because even if your child graduates from high school having only completed through year 8, it still may be more than they may have gotten in many public high schools. Ambleside Online is known for really, really difficult book choices. All right, so let's take a look at the curriculum then. So this is Ambleside Online's year 3. This would be kind of like a syllabus right here. There is a key here because they use symbols in the syllabus. You can skip to a certain subject on the table of contents. This is the subjects for daily instruction and weekly instruction, and then it kind of breaks it down. These would be the books that you need to do this curriculum. I'm just going to scan kind of quickly. I do a lot of younger grade walkthroughs, so I decided to take an opportunity to do higher grade ones. So this would be year 3. And then you can also get the overview in a weekly schedule. So here's the weekly schedule. Here are the free reading. You're supposed to do free reading like kind of in your free time, just for fun. Usually it's kind of like classic literature. And then I'll take a look at week 1 so you can kind of see the breakdown. It says the following readings should be broken up into daily readings in whatever way works best for your family. So here is a typical week for a 3rd grader. Okay, and then we'll take a look at 7th grade too, so that way it's a even higher level. Syllabus. You're reading biographies. You're making a book of centuries. Or they do a century chart here. You've got geography readings, government and economic, citizenship, which they read Plutarch, literature. You'll see Shakespeare is continued. Again, that starts at about year 4. Although they use mostly copywork and dictation to teach this, there's also, both of these curriculum do have some English grammar instruction in it too. You'll see the science books are usually pretty advanced. And the free reading. And then a typical year 7 breakdown. You got your daily work and your weekly work. Here is week 1. You can see they do quite a bit more in the week. Okay, so that's Ambleside Online. And then there's also Amabalis, which is another one. These are free curriculums online. You just have to buy your books. So just to give a different outlook, we'll do year 4 here and year 8. So this would be the syllabus for a typical 4th grader. This one, you probably don't need to drop your kids down too many levels unless you think that it would be too hard for them. But Mater Amabilis is not quite as high of a reading level as Ambleside. And I'll point out it kind of does short daily lessons, lesson 20 to 25 minutes. You've got, here is their grammar book, because even though they do copywork dictation, they do still have some grammar instruction. The level 2 year 1 would be about 4th grade. You'll see that they do start Shakespeare here too in 4th grade. Mater Amabilis is set up for 3 history streams because there are students from Great Britain, there are students from America, there are students from Australia. So there's 3 different streams, so you would pick your own national history stream. And then in year 4, they also study ancient history because they have national history and world history going at the same time. I'll point out real fast right here. Mater Amabilis does also have some information on the Charlotte Mason method. Introduction to Geography Studying the Charlotte Mason method will teach you how to implement it. This one, I think, does a good job highlighting how diverse the subjects that you teach are. All right, and then they have the lesson plan. Or the weekly breakdown would be the week lesson plan chart. I guess I should have pulled this up first. Okay. And this is how they lay it out. So week 1, out of the Bible, you do the intro. I'm going to skip ahead through religion because I want to address that later. Grammar English, so from intermediate language lessons, you're going to be doing lesson 1 through 3, retelling, proper nouns, description, and you can kind of get a glance for that, feel for that. All right, now we're on to week 7, so it looks like it's probably about 2 pages for each week. All right, and then let's go back and I'll show you year 8, level 4, which would be about 8th grade. For 8th grade, they have you doing 20th century history, so modern history, and I think that should address world and national history. I'm not quite there yet. My kids are still really young. Again, you'll notice the science in both of them is pretty advanced. Relativity and quantum mechanics, principle of modern physics. Learning Spanish and Latin. All right. And then their weekly chart's probably going to look very similar to the last one. There we go. If you guys can read that, I'm going to try and zoom in a little bit. My phone is not going to focus on that little handwriting. So, but the weekly lessons are there too. So real quick, quick comparison between Amabalis and Ambleside on, if I can talk, Ambleside Online would be, the main one is usually that Ambleside Online is Protestant and Mater Amabalis is Catholic. I don't know of a secular Charlotte Mason, but I will say there are secular Charlotte Mason Facebook groups that probably adjust the Ambleside Online or Mater Amabalis schedules. I'm not quite sure. Ambleside Online also has a Facebook group, and Mater Amabalis has a Facebook group as well. But aside from that, Ambleside Online uses a lot of free books in the public domain. So they follow the original Charlotte Mason plan that was in her schools as closely as they possibly can. Mater Amabalis also has some old books, but they're a little bit modern in their selection. But the books might not be in the public domain, so you're more likely to have to use the library or buy the books yourself. The Ambleside Online reading level is a little more advanced than Mater Amabalis. When you're starting out, I think Ambleside Online has the most information in their FAQ for anyone interested. I think it gives a really solid introduction to it. Mater Amabalis has some information, but I think Ambleside Online is just a little more thorough when you're learning how to use the method. And again, both of these curriculum plans are completely free, so it's super easy to switch stuff out for things you like better. There are some purists, and you'll probably find them in the Facebook groups, but there's a lot of people that kind of alter the syllabus to fit their needs and the needs of their family. And you can do that guilt-free because you're homeschooling, so you don't have to do any curriculum exactly as it is written. You can change up what doesn't work for you. So that would be the 2 main Charlotte Mason curriculums.